Might be the best basketball coach in the state. I don't want to take any thunder here, but I'm teasing. What do you think you were able to accomplish with all these days of practice here? What's the most important thing you accomplished, besides rest?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a chance to really go through Houston in depth. It was kind of like a playoff preparation, which is, the challenge they are. So that was nice to have a couple of days to do that. And then also just kind of looking back to the last 5 games and looking at things we struggled with, you get a chance to kind of clean those things up detail-wise on both ends. So that's been good for us, but not to not say health, but it's been good, I'd say, mentally for the guys to actually be at home for some days, as opposed to the last, I guess it's been 6 weeks where we were home for a day and leave, day, leave, day, leave. So outside of Thanksgiving. So that's been really good for these guys to kind of find a schedule at home, be more consistent with our daily activity. I think that goes a long way.
So you guys get a couple days to make this like a playoff game. Houston, same thing. Does that make this game more revealing in your opinion because, both teams will tailor what they're doing?
I think so. I do think there are variables in the sense of health. We don't have our full group. They have guys, I think Eason may come back and play tomorrow, so that kind of messes with their rhythm, if that makes sense. But it is at this moment in the season, it's a big game. And they're all big, but this one is a team that we know, if anybody watched the first game we played, it's a high-level basketball game. So we have to bring the right intensity, and the physicality is going to be ramped up, which is how they play. And then they have one of the greatest offensive players ever lived. So there's a lot of stuff to look forward to as a fan to watch. Coaching against it, not so much.
Last year, I think you guys were 30th in three-point attempts per game. I think you're 12th right now. Is that a stated goal, or is that just a natural outcome of the offense right now?
I think it's multiple things. Guys that we picked up that obviously are, that's what they do. But I also think it's just the league changing how they guard us and pick and roll. I think the pocket hasn't been available as much. Nicola's getting doubled even more all over the floor, and that leads to more opportunities. But then that next layer is, who you throw the ball to in the past was somebody that drove the ball again, as opposed to now there's a lot of guys that are confident to shoot the three. So, yeah, I'm just a fan of us doing what the right thing is in every possession. When Aaron and CB come back, it might flip, and we might be back to scoring 60 in the paint a game, as opposed to right now we've been kind of a low paint team outside of the last game, which I guess speaks to who we are right now. The version of us right now is a three-point shooting team that plays fast, so it's going to change throughout the season.
In the first Houston matchup, I think you held them to 109, and I think KD went 5 for 15. I know Reed got going, but what stands out about what you guys were able to do defensively in that first meeting?
I think with Kevin, it's just you have to give him attention the whole time. He does such a good job getting to his spots. You have to make him work hard for what he's getting, because once he gets to his spot, I can tell as a coach, I can say, hey, contest. The guy's 7 feet tall, 6'11", whatever, shoots the ball above his head. There's no contest. So we have to do a good job before he gets to that point as best we can of affecting him. And obviously I think with Şengün too, it's you can't let him play in space and in rhythm, because when he does that, it seems like everything happens at once. He scores, he distributes the ball, he brings more energy to the offensive rebound. So I think that's the challenge, is just, can we do it from the get-go? Can they feel us throughout the game? And it's a long game, and they have a lot of talent around them with Thompson, et cetera. So it's a challenge, man. But I think we have to do our best to make sure that they know that we're very aware they're in the gym.
Seen John make his way around, sort of talking with you, some of the other coaches. He's got a little bit of a background in that. How much of that is kind of him looking for input from you guys? How much of it is kind of him pointing out things? What's that kind of relationship been like, having him kind of just around?
You're saying John Wallace, right?
Yeah.
John played too. So it's the conversations with John and Ben are good, because we're talking about the roster, our team, the G League team, which is having a lot of success right now. I'm hoping they can get healthy for the showcase. So all those factors, all those things are being talked about, not to mention John playing. When he has an opinion about something he sees, it goes a long way. It's a healthy conversation with somebody that's played at a really high level. Those guys have been great. This whole thing up to this point has been really good between the three of us, and communication's been, top tier. That's what you want. You just want to be able to be honest with each other of what you see, because what I'm looking at is inside the bubble, and sometimes you need people outside to remind you of things, and maybe you're skipping past because the goal is to win each game. So it's good to have those conversations.
Do you have an update with Julian?
Yeah, he went hard today. I think the hope is that tomorrow he checks in with medical, and maybe they give him the pass to go ahead and play tomorrow night. But I'm very, very hopeful that this week is the week. And also we want to make sure it's fully back, so it's not when he comes out there, he takes one hit, now he's out for another month. So it's one of those tedious things where he looks like he could play right now, but this is different than what that is tomorrow. So we got to be careful with that, but yeah, I'm hoping for this week. What do you get from Jalen, and when he plays, what is it you want to see him do most? Just be what he is, man. Be steady. And I think take shots, take open shots. He's a really underrated just catch and shoot guy. And I think I'd love to see him shoot more as opposed to feeling like he always has to run the team, because that's what he's done his whole career, through college and all those things in the G League. So it's just knowing that on our team, with all the ball handlers that can bring the ball up, just be part of the game, be part of the splits, be confident to shoot the ball. And that's why our offense has been so good this year, in my opinion, is obviously our top two guys are outrageously good offensive players. But I think the other guys have taken it on themselves. If I'm open, I'm going to shoot it. We're not gonna lose our minds if somebody misses a shot that maybe isn't the best shooter of the five. Just take the best shot possible, Jalen included. And if we do that, I think we're going to score a lot of points nightly, especially in the regular season and the way it flows.
How hard is it to rewire a player, a point guard, when he's basically played his own career with the ball, to say, hey, it's cool to be off the ball and catch and shoot?
Yeah, I think for Jalen and for anybody in our league, it's part of surviving in the NBA is survival. I mean, who you were is not who you are here. A few guys are, Wembanyama's Wembanyama, but when you get in our league, it's how do you fit in, and what do you have to do differently than you did in college or when you're growing up as an AAU player? Because this league is so talented and different. It's just, is there something inside of you that even though you haven't done this your whole career, can you, I guess, navigate it and say, you know what, I can become this player on this particular night? And that's a skill in the NBA. I look at Spence. I mean, Spence does what Spence does, but he's had to do things that he's never done. Play in the dunker, handle the ball a little bit and dribble handoffs to move it along for an ATO. These are expectations of an NBA player, and Jalen's no different.
David, Peyton brought up the professionalism in the approach from the previous game in Houston, and he kind of made it sound like he feels like that's been the case for most all the games this season. So do you kind of agree with that sentiment? And if so, what do you credit that the team's, mindset to?
Yeah, I think being efficient helps that process. That means the coaches, the messaging has to be very black and white, and our guys have to give us the proper attention to what we're trying to accomplish in each game plan. And, the season is long. When you do it over and over and over, there can be some days where you can tell guys, you're like, really? But this group so far, today was great. We went through Houston stuff. It doesn't mean we're going to hold them to zero. But if you give full attention to something and you believe in what you're trying to do offensively and defensively, you give yourself a really good chance to win games. And these guys have done that. And the guys that aren't part of the rotation, we throw them out there and they're part of the game plan too, and they've been locked in. And so it's just been a very healthy group mentally in the preparation part of it. And that has to continue throughout the season for us to be successful in an unbelievable conference.
What'd you think of that? Yeah. You ready to go? Peyton, what do you think the team accomplished over these couple of practices that you had the last week?
I think we definitely just had a chance to kind of calm ourselves, work on some stuff that we've been needing to work on as far as our defensive scheme, and just getting in here, breaking a sweat, getting acclimated to the altitude again. I know myself personally, I've tried to blow it out of my workouts the past 2 days and kind of just train myself because I know the game will be hard. So just in here getting prepared for the next game.
Are you enjoying this stretch right now, starting? I mean, I know you started in the past, but elevated role, has it been meaningfully more enjoyable for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been super meaningful for me. I never take the opportunity to even play for granted, so let alone to start for one of the best franchises in the league. It's something that I never can, say how much of a blessing that it is. So like you said, I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying this time, building better chemistry with our teammates. And who knows, down the road, I'm going to have to play with different lineups. I'm going to have to play with different guys, and just being able to gel and get that chemistry now is important.
In this lineup, the offense has been elite with you in there. What's been the key for you fitting in offensively or finding your groove?
Just my positioning, being in the right spots at the right times, knowing when to cut, knowing when to space, and also when I am spaced, just not hesitating to shoot, getting that ball off quick, shooting it with confidence and rhythm. And I think as long as I have that, my teammates will continue to find me in those spots and pass it to me. But I always look at it as there are plays where Yoke will pop to the three, have a slightly open shot, and he'll see me in the corner with a more open shot, and he'll pass it to me. And I think that just goes to show the confidence that my teammates have in me. And it's all up to me to have the confidence to step up and make the shot, which I always have.
Talk about the work that you put in that jump shot, the corner threes especially going in. What was that evolution like over the summer to now?
Just shooting so many to where it felt automatic. I think that this summer I really had a chance to get my feet under me and get that repetition. I feel like my first 2 off seasons or my first 3 off seasons, like I was kind of dealing with health issues like my knees and my hamstring last preseason, and I think it took away from some of the repetition and quality reps. So I think just being able to have a full summer to kind of rep it out and really work on my mechanics and knowing where I'm going to get my shots in the game, it really helped me.
I know you guys play a lot of zone, but it seems like around the league there's been a little bit more of that, just in at least in stints within games. Why do you think that has kind of been a trend around the league?
I think more than anything, just to switch up the looks for the offense. I feel like if you're guarding someone one way and they're playing in a flow and they've got rhythm and they're playing with movement and moving bodies, it's harder to guard them at times, especially when they're going on runs and things like that. So playing the zone forces them to kind of move the ball around, have more people touch it, maybe take a contested mid-range shot within the key. And those are shots that over the course of a game where we know we're going to score 100 plus, 110, 120 points, we're fine. And we live with some of those shots that they take inside the arc.
Hey, when you think back to that win in Houston, what's the first thing that kind of jumps out, whether it's something you guys did well or something that needs cleaning up?
I think our approach and our seriousness in the game. I think that we came into that game seeing it as a must-win, and I think that that's been a big step of growth and improvement for our team in general this year, is going out there and understanding that we don't have to lose any game. Like, we don't have to take our foot off the gas. We don't have to give ourselves slack. We can try to be as perfect as possible and live with the results. And I think that our approach this year has been a lot more serious. Not that it wasn't before, but I think now we know that we have the team and we have everything we need to go out there and succeed on a night-to-night basis.
Appreciate it, man.